RNA is the first genetic material. Okay, so let's start up from the RNA, that is from the foregoing discussion an immediate question become evident, which is the first genetic material. It shall be discussed in detail in the chapter on chemical evolution, but briefly we shall highlight some of the facts and points. So, why RNA is the first genetic material, we can say that. So, okay, so RNA is the first genetic material. There was not enough evidence to suggest that essential life processes such as metabolism, translation, genetic and splicing evolved around the RNA. So, there was not such develop any type of scientific lab or research. So, that is why the scientists cannot prove that the RNA is the first genetic material and it can involve in the so many biochemical processes, translation, anything about the translation, metabolism, splicing, all is occurred around the RNA. That was not proved at that time, because not that is the research was underdeveloped at that time. So, that RNA used to act as a genetic material as well as catalyst. So, RNA is not only genetic, you already learned that the RNA is not only act as a genetic material, mostly it act as the catalyst, is adaptable, reactor. Okay. So, this type of functions, messenger RNA. So, this type of functions are occurred by the RNA, but RNA is the first genetic material. There are some important RNA catalysis by protein, but RNA being a catalyst was reactive and hence unstable. So, you know that DNA has two complementary strands, so that is why they are more stable and they have the complementary base pair also, but RNA just a single strand. So, that is why the RNA are chemical too much reactive to the chemical, so they are unstable. DNA belong double stranded and having complementary strand further resist changes by evolving the process of the repairing. Okay. So, that is the most difference between the why the DNA is stable and why the RNA is unstable, because they are easily react with the any type of chemicals, but DNA has the complementary base pair and they can repair yourself. So, that is why the replication occurs in the DNA, but RNA does not do that. Okay. While processing with double helical structure of the DNA, Watson and Crick complementary proposed a scheme for the replication of DNA to quote their original statement as the follows. It has not escaped our notice that specific pairing we have postulated immediately suggesting possibly copying mechanism of the genetic material. Okay. So, DNA has the base pair and it can copy it yourself, means it can replicate yourself. Okay. A specific pairing we have postulated immediately suggests a possible copying mechanism for a genetic material. So, DNA has the complementary pairing, so that is why that is possible to make their own copy. The scheme suggested that two strands would separate and act as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strand. You know that DNA is the double stranded, so that is why. So, DNA is just looking like the structure, helical structure, and each strand act as the complementary strand, that is the base pair of the synthesis of the new strand. Okay. So, when DNA is the DNA replicate yourself, one is the mother strand, another is the new strand. Okay. This will be formed, that will be separated, and when new generation will be formed, one will be the mother strand, another will be the daughter strand. Okay. This structure is called semi-conservative. Okay. What is so semi-conservative? DNA replication. The scheme suggested that two strands would separate and act as a template for the synthesis of new complementary strand. After the completion of the replication, each DNA molecule have one parental, one newly synthesized strand. This scheme is termed as the semi-conservative DNA replication. So, what is semi-conservative DNA replication? Where the one parental strand and another newly formed strand, both are formed in a new DNA. Okay. So, that is called the semi-conservative DNA. So, there is some experiment also that proved that DNA replication is a semi-conservative replication. That means DNA has one parental strand and one newly synthesized strand. Okay. So, let us see what is the experiment. That DNA is the semi-conservative, DNA has semi-conservative replication. DNA replicates semi-conservatively. Okay, so this is the main subject and that is proved by the so many types of experiment. The most famous or popular experiments is done by the Missler and Stoll. Okay, so it was shown first in the Escherichia coli. You know that Escherichia coli is the most popular bacteria that is used in the any type of biological lab to prove anything, okay, especially related to the genetic material, anything. That experiment mostly occurs DNA fingerprinting, DNA replication, anything that occurs in the Escherichia coli. It is easily available and they can show the all types of experiment very clearly. Subsequently, in higher organisms such as plants and human cell, Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stoll, okay, Matthew Michelson and Franklin Stoll performed the following experiment in 1958. So, 1958 there is an experiment that is occurred by the Matthew and Stoll, that is the proof that DNA replication is semi-conservative. First one, they grew E. coli in a medium containing N15 NH4Cl. N15 is the heavy isotope of nitrogen. Okay, they take a heavy isotope of the nitrogen, that is N15 NH4Cl. The E. coli that is growth in the E. coli growth in the NH4Cl and N is the 15 isotope, the heavy isotope of the nitrogen. Okay, in this culture medium E. coli start to culture. Okay. The grew E. coli in the medium containing NH4Cl. N15 is the heavy isotope nitrogen as the only nitrogen source for the many generations. Okay. The result was that nitrogen is mostly acquired things in this experiment required the most the nitrogen, because nitrogen is very much important for the growth and development of the anything. So, they can any type of generation that contain the nitrogen, that is N15, that will be proved in our next step of the experiment. Okay. So, first why they grew E. coli in the NH4Cl and N have the 15 heavy isotope of the nitrogen. Then they only nitrogen source for the many generation. The result was that N15 was incorporated into newly synthesized DNA as well as other nitrogen containing compounds. The heavy DNA molecule could be distinguished from the normal DNA by centrifugation. Okay. So, the result was that N15 was incorporated into newly synthesized DNA as well as the nitrogen containing compounds. So, when you grow a E. coli bacteria in NH4Cl which have N15 isotope, the next generation also containing that nitrogen that contains N15 isotope. Okay. So, that is why the newly synthesized DNA contain the N15. Okay. Next, the DNA molecule could be distinguished from the normal DNA by centrifugation in cesium chloride. Okay. So, as it is a heavy isotope, the mother's body that does not contain N15, but as it is growth in the culture medium of the N15, the newly synthesized DNA contain the N15. Okay. So, mother body contain normal nitrogen, that is light in weight. So, heavy weighted nitrogen easily removed from the light weighted nitrogen by centrifugation. Okay. And what is the medium? Centrifugation in a cesium chloride. Okay. Cesium chloride CaCl, in this medium centrifugation occurs, then you can separate the mother DNA from the daughter DNA. Please note that N15 is not a radioactive isotope and it can be separated from N14 only based on the densities. Okay. So, mother's contains light weighted, that is N14, the newly contain N15. Okay. And these will be separated because both are not radioactive isotope. Okay. So, that is why they are easily separated. Then they transferred into the cell medium with normal NH4Cl and took the samples at various definite time intervals of the cell, multiplied and extracted the DNA that remain as the double-stranded helicals. The various samples are separated independently in CaCl gradient to measure the densities of the DNA. So, first you have taken E. coli bacteria in NH4Cl, then the DNA that contain the newly synthesized, that is N15, okay. But the after replication, when the DNA formed, the one strand will be N15 and one strand will be N14, okay. One will be N14 because it is mother DNA, it is normal condition, and that is newly synthesized DNA that contains N15, okay. One contains N14 and one contains N15, and as they are different in their densities, when you culture them in CSCl, cesium chloride medium, there will be different densities will be present, okay. Some of them that produce the nDNA, okay, generation 2, then N14 DNA, that is mother DNA, N14 DNA. One will be produced N14 and N15, okay, the newly synthesized, and another that will be separated, the newly synthesized DNA, that will be N15, okay. So, 3 type of DNA molecule you can get from that experiment. First you culture the E. coli in N15 NH4Cl medium, then the newly synthesized DNA that contains N15 as it brought in the N15 cultural medium, and then when the newly synthesized in generation 1, when the newly synthesized DNA form, one strand will be mother and one strand will be newly synthesized. So, that is why one strand will be N15 and another strand will be N14, and again when you culture the this DNA in the CSCl medium, then that will be 4, that is N15, one will be N15, one will be N14, one will be mother DNA, one will be newly synthesized DNA, and another will be N14 and one N15, that is hybrid, okay. So, 3 types of DNA you can be found in this medium. Can you recall what centrifugal force is, and you can molecule with her, okay. Result is shown in the figure 7. Separation by the DNA in the centrifugation method, the DNA that is extracted from the culture one generation after transfer to the N15 to N14 medium, that is about 20 minutes, E. coli divided 20 minutes, had a hybrid or intermediate density. Obviously, when N15 and N14 that are when N15 cultured in the N14 medium, then N15 obviously contains N14. When E. coli was N14, you cultured them in a N15 medium. So, newly synthesized DNA contains N15 and N14, and when N15 DNA medium DNA is cultured in the N14 medium, that is centrifugation, that is normal. So, obviously newly synthesized DNA, one will be N14, another will be N15, okay. DNA extracted from the culture after another generation, that is 40 minutes. Generation 2 compound the equal amount of this hybrid DNA and the light DNA. If E. coli is allowed to grow 80 minutes, then what will be properties of the light and hybrid DNA molecule? That will be form 3, then more replicated, and that will be 6, okay. Very similar experiment involving use radioactive thymidine is detected disturbing newly synthesized DNA in the chromosome was performed in Vicia fova. So, the Taylor and colleagues in 1958, the experiment proved that DNA in chromosome also replicates semi-conservatively, okay. So, you can culture the DNA in different medium and you can prove that they will produce the semi-conservative DNA. Semi-conservative DNA means one will be the newly synthesized strand, another will be the daughter strand or parental strand. When you culture the N14 DNA in N15 DNA, one strand will be N14, another strand will be N15, and when N15 DNA cultured in the N14 medium, then one will be N15, another will be N14, that is hybrid formed will be formed by the centrifugation, and you can separate them by the centrifugation in CSCl medium. Clear everyone? Why the DNA is called semi-conservative replication? You can prove this by the experiment of Stoll and Michelson, okay, or Matthew. The machinery and the enzyme, okay. So, different types of mechanism occurs inside your body: transcription, translation, replication, and which enzyme is responsible, because all the biochemical activities that occurs in your body, obviously they are replicated or transcripted by the help of different enzyme, because cutting of DNA, replication, the double strand forming, repairing, all these occurs by some types of enzyme present, which helps them act as the catalyst and help them to perform the all types of the functions. Okay. Thank you, Anubhav. So, in the living cell such as E. coli, the process of replication requires a set of catalysis enzymes. Okay. Obviously, any type of biochemical reaction needs some catalytic enzyme. The main enzyme referred to as DNA dependent DNA polymerase. Okay. So, any type of anything that is occurs by the DNA dependent DNA polymerase. This is the main enzyme, okay, polymerase, DNA polymerase. This is the main enzyme that is responsible for any type of biochemical activities. So, the main enzyme referred to as DNA dependent DNA polymerase, since it is used as the DNA template to catalyze the polymerization of deoxyribonucleic acid. So, when replication also occurs, deoxyribonucleic acid means DNA act as the base template for the replication of itself, and DNA dependent DNA polymerase helps in the replication. Okay. So, this one is the main important enzymes. Next, it was DNA template to catalyze the enzyme. They have a catalytic polymerization, a large number of nucleotide in very short time. So, this enzyme helps to produce large number of DNA in very short time. E. coli has 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair, and humans have 6.6 into 10 to the power 9 base pair, completes the process of replication within 38 minutes. Okay. So, how many times and what is the during of the times when the E. coli complete the replication process? The base pair of the E. coli is 4.6 into 10 to the power 6 base pair, and they take the time to complete any replication, that is 38 minutes. Okay. In 38 minutes they completed the replication. The 4.6 and 10 to the power will complete the process of replication within 38 minutes. So, replication process occurs inside or completed inside the E. coli in the 38 minutes. That means the average rate of the polymerization approximately 2000 base pair per second. Okay. So, you can divide it, that will be the answer, 2000 base pair per second. At that rate the polymerization process occurs. Okay. That means not only do these polymerase have be fast, but they also have to catalyze the reaction with the high degree of accuracy. Any mistake during replication would result into mutation. Okay. Obviously, mutation occurs when the DNA structure will be changed, some changes occurs in the genetic material. So, mutation obviously occurs. So, in that case, not only the polymerase have to be fast, if they also have to capitalize the high degree of accuracy. Any mistake if occurs in that time replication, that will be changed into the mutation. The genetic formation will be changed. You maybe have some abnormalities in your genetical disorders, also will be Turner syndrome, Down syndrome. You have already learned about that. Some types of disease also occurred by this process. Further, energetically replication very expensive process, deoxyribonucleic acid triphosphate several dual purpose. In addition to acting substances, they provide energy for the polymer. So, this is the most important question, that deoxyribonucleotide triphosphate serves dual purpose. Why the deoxyribonucleotide triphosphate acts as the dual purpose, or what is the dual function of the deoxyribonucleotides? Okay. First one, that is during the replication will result into the mutation. Energetic replication very expensive process. Deoxyribonucleic acid triphosphate serve dual purpose. In addition to acting as the substrates, they provide energy for the polymerization reaction. In term 2, phosphate in the deoxyribonucleic acid triphosphate at high energy phosphate, same in the case of the ATP. So, first one, it helps to replication occurs in the very short period of time, and second one, it gives the energy for the polymerization reaction. Okay. So, dual purpose occurs by the deoxyribonucleotide triphosphate. Okay. So, this is one important question, what is the dual functions of the deoxyribonucleotides? That is, they functions as the energy required material and they helps in the replication process doing in the very fast, okay, very short time. In addition, DNA dependent DNA polymerase, many additional enzymes are required to complete the process of replication in the high degree of accuracy. So, not only the DNA dependent DNA polymerase, another enzymes are also helps in this replication process to that in the very fast rate, okay. DNA dependent DNA polymerase is the main enzyme. For the long DNA molecule, since two strands of DNA cannot be separated its entire length and the replication occurs within a small opening of the DNA helix referred to as replication fork, okay. So, replication occurs within a small opening of the DNA helix referred to as replication fork. So, when the DNA helix when the DNA helix there will be some fork will be formed, that is replication forks. Some catalytic replication fork first will be formed, they will be separated, okay. So, for DNA molecules, two strands of DNA cannot be separated at the entire length. So, replication occurs within a small opening of the DNA helix. So, replication never does not occur through the whole DNA, okay. Only small part of the helix that is open, and at that time the replication forks will occur, okay. The DNA dependent DNA polymerase catalysis referred to as DNA dependent DNA polymerase catalysis only the one direction, that is 5 prime to 3 prime. It creates some additional complication that replicating for, consequently one strand replication is continuous and while another template is the partial, that is discontinuous, okay. In discontinuous, when the DNA is helical is separated from replication fork, that will be separated just Y-shaped manner, okay. In the some strand that is 5 prime to 3 prime, okay, that will be a continuous strand. 5 prime to 3 prime, when that will be 3 prime and it will be the 5 prime, it will be a continuous strand. The replication occurs continuously, okay, continuous strand. And when it occurs 3 prime to 5 prime, it will be discontinuous, stop and then replicated, discontinuous form. Okay, that will be discontinuous form. That creates some additional complication at replicating for, consequently one strand that is 3 prime to 5 prime, the replication is continuous, while on the other it is discontinuous. The discontinuously synthesized fragments are later joined by the enzyme, that is DNA ligase, okay. So, this that will be joined after the another enzyme, that is DNA ligase. So, this is the process of the replication. The DNA first the opening of the helix occurs at the some part that form the V shape, one strand continuous replicated, another discontinuous, and when the discontinuous replication occurs, there is another enzyme DNA ligase which helps to join them, okay. The DNA polymerase are one or not cannot initiate the process of the replication. That replication does not initiate randomly at any place in the DNA. There is definite region in E. coli DNA where replication originates, okay. So, not only that the DNA strand is present and anywhere the replication may be start, not that there is some particular part in the DNA where the replication start in the E. coli, okay. So, the such region is termed as origin of replication. So, in the DNA helix from where the replication will start, this part is called origin or site for the replication, okay, origin of replication, OR. That is because of the requirement of the origin of replication, a piece of DNA if needed to be propagated during recombinant procedures requires a vector. The vector provides the origin of replication, okay. So, there is a vector is also present at the site of the origin of replication. When the original piece of DNA if needed to be propagated, if another time there will be you need to prepare or your body needs to prepare, required to prepare another DNA fragment, then there is a vector is present that helps to form that DNA in the site of the origin of replication. Fact that not every detail of the replication is understood well. In eukaryotes, the replication of DNA takes place as S phase of the cell cycle. Okay, the replication, and so the replication of DNA takes place in which phase? The S phase of the cell division. Okay, S phase, from the S phase the DNA replication will be started. So S phase of the cell cycle, and the replication of DNA and cell division cell cycle should be highly coordinated. A failure in cell division after DNA replication results into polyploidy. That is the polyploidy means the number of the chromosomes. Okay, aneuploidy means the chromosome number decrease. Poly means many. So when the replication is disturbed, so because it continuously produces so many DNA, so chromosome number also will be increased. So that's why this disease is called polyploidy. Okay, that is the abnormalities in the chromosome number. You will learn the detailed nature of origin and process of occurring this in the higher classes. Okay, so you can continue the replication process. You know that there is DNA dependent DNA polymerase is present, DNA helix that not fully is separated, that only the some part will be separated, and the only one particular site is present, that is called origin of the replication, and they can continue that replication process. Okay. So this is up to further today. We will continue the rest of transcription part from in our next classes. Thank you so much everyone. Bye everyone.